talking liquid sarcasm machine. Clock ticking down, yeah, the tension is insane. Pull up for...
I'm glad it's short.
The problem is it goes for about 4 minutes. And we only get 12 seconds to play, the first 12 seconds, and it's just not quite enough.
I put it together with AI, as you can tell, and I came up with the term liquid walking, talking sarcasm machine.
Is he pointing to you, Todd? Yeah.
Did I roll out loud again?
Right, let's back to serious work. Hey, guys, Aussie Craft Distillers, Worts All, and for the long-term followers.
Yeah, it still doesn't know that he's got a mic on.
Oh, sorry. I forgot we're mic'd up tonight, so I have to speak quieter. So
but at least the camera's right in front of him, so he won't be looking at the far corner.
Anyway, so we're here with David Ritten from Granddad Jack's in Queensland. So, David, first of all, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks, fellas. I'm good. A little bit cold in the Goldie tonight, 16 degrees, so we're not used to the stuff up in the Sunshine State. But and we've been raining all week, so but let's bring back the sun. I'm over the rain. But apart from that, I'm bloody well, to be honest.
Well, I don't think we're going to have winter. I think we've had it.
Yeah, we had the heater on for one night. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
We're still in autumn, you know.
Yeah, I know, but still. Anyway, so we said to David, can you just send us a bottle of something so we can drink it on the night? You know, have a bit of a sample. So David sent this.
He's old.
It's actually only very light, but Crafty's sold that he's
So we thought we'd do
barely able to hold anything.
a sort of revisiting of the unboxing.
Video. All right, so straight up, we've got some coasters.
Oh, I need one of those.
There you go. Very nice.
Yeah.
They're right there.
Stick on the talent.
We have the 65 miles gin with recipe. Oh, Rosemary Ripper. That sounds awesome. And a little welcome to the family card. That's lovely.
Thank you.
Great tonics. Long rays. Love them. They're not cold, but we'll deal with that. And then
what else we got in here? We've got some.
There's a bottle in here.
There's little packaging.
There's some paper.
There's little packaging.
There's some more paper.
It's like
very
Christmas.
nicely wrapped.
It's like Christmas. Anyway.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
What have we got?
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
That's
oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, we need to talk about your bottles, mate. That's definitely a conversation.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very different.
So while we prepare ourselves a little drink, David's going to say what he's drinking, and then we'll rip into it.
Bottles look cool like this.
Well, I'm drinking the same, fellas. A little 65 miles. I'm running with a little gin and tonic with Long Ray's citrus tonic, which I personally like. But you can drink it with lots of things. In fact, one of my favourites of this is what I call a Queenslander, which you guys will absolutely love. So what I do is I have 65 miles, not 30 mils, 45 mils over ice, and top it up with Bundaberg ginger beer, and I call it the Queenslander. 65 miles made here in Queensland, Bundaberg ginger beer here in Queensland, and it's just phenomenal. It's a different way to drink gin, which I love. But tonight, I thought I would drink the same as you fellas. So I've got a little 65 miles gin and tonic with a little dried. I like the dried orange. We have orange in the distillation of this. So,
there we go. All right.
It's even better this thing.
So
refresh.
There's one. So tell us about that bottle.
So the
very unique.
Bottle itself. So my grandfather, we built this distillery. We were not distillers. We weren't interested in distilling. We weren't home distillers. We were absolutely nobody, nothings. But my mum and her two sisters gave my grandfather, Granddad Jack, This Is Your Life book, and they read it out for his 90th birthday. And my grandfather loved whiskey, and he drank a whiskey every single day of his life. And when I heard this full story, I thought I can't ever let this story go. So we literally, this bottle comes from that period of time. My grandfather was born back on the 11th of June, 1919. And during that period of time, black was in black was colour. But then during the 1930s, 1940s, they started to bring other colours, and they brought white and greens and black.
Right.
And so that created this tan colour. So the tan in our bottles is purely to represent the period of the time when my grandfather was a young boy and growing up. That's why all of our bottles are tan.
And that certainly stands out. It's lovely. And then you've got all the bottles of that same bottle, same tan bottle, but then you've got the sticker on there to differentiate. Is that right?
To differentiate the different product range, yeah.
Wow.
So all of our bottles come already coated tan with the Granddad Jack's label on.
Yep.
And then we add the label to whatever product we've got in it. In this case, 65 miles. And then every single bottle is hand dipped in the wax and hand stamped by a human, by someone local in our community. That's how we run it. My grandfather always said, if you look after the community that you're in, they'll look after you. And that's exactly what happens to us. We're very lucky when times are tough, the community looks after us, and we look after them by hiring people within our community and, to wax dip all those bottles. I got to say, though, in the early days, it was a great idea. As time gone, some days it's not such a good idea.
Pain in the ass. When I first started, I got this embosser stamp, right? And I embossed the first release every label, right?
Did you?
Yeah.
And that was it. I've never used that embosser again, right? I embossed cards. I did all sorts of things. And it's like, you come up with things like putting ribbons on, things like that. And then pretty soon you realize that, no. It's all going into the bin. So
Yeah.
Makers Mark, because they say they're all hand dipped.
they are.
They are, yeah.
Millions upon millions of bottles.
Yeah. They have a line of people at the waxing line, hence it's called the waxing line. Yeah.
Right.
So, and then
that kind of makes sense.
They have the smoothest legs.
And they dip and
And
twist.
the best bikini line.
Where's all this red wax going? We're down about 18 kilos of red wax. We can't account for it.
It's called the Kentucky Drift.
Where did that one come from? Anyway,
we digress.
Let's go back to the beginning, though, from when you actually started your distillery. But what I'd love to hear is you went through that initial pain and just grind with councils and licenses and all that. And where are you at now with council?
They're picking on us again now. It's like I'm a magnet for stupid people, you know. It's it's been they just Gold Coast Council's corrupt as shit, and we've got our little mate Tom Tate and his buddies here, and they're not real honest, and they tend to change their mind, and so at the moment we've fought them many times and touch wood won so far, and this time they've decided that they've got a new interpretation of their own rules.
Oh wow!
And they're having a red hot guard us about those rules. So, we're not the family that my grandfather grew up with no dad. His dad passed away before he was born. So he grew up as never got to go to school, had to work on the family farm, was a pretty hard bastard. In fact, all of us in the family were shit scared of him most of our lives until we got older and he got older and we could give him a bit of stick.
Yeah.
But I think what's happened is, our families, we're probably, I don't know if some people call it our best trait or our worst trait, but if we're the sort of family that if you back us in a corner, we come out punching. And that's what Gold Coast Council is trying to do now. And that's how we roll. But
Yeah.
We won't give up. We'll keep pushing back. And you know what governments are like these days. They tend to interpret their own rules the way they want to do it. And if they've got a different agenda, then that's the agenda they roll with. But we've been here before. We're not going to go anywhere. It'll be the same gig. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, it's all about we just have to spend more money for no reason. And that's the most annoying part of it is that we got to deal with stupid people that just want to take money off us just to show that they are the big man in town. So which is, sometimes you got to learn the rules to play the game, right?
And I can totally relate to that. I was looking at moving my distillery into Richmond, and it was all good. And what I was going to do was move into. You remember Reggie Pappas Ironbark Distillery?
Yeah.
So Reggie's old joint, right?
Oh.
So DA approved, occupational certificate approved, like for like business approved. So it should have been a walk in the park. I should have just been able to go, I'm here. Where do I sign and take the keys, right? So then the landlord said, well, you have to go to DA. And I went, no, I don't. There's a DA on the building currently. And he goes, no, you need to go talk to council. So I started a conversation with council. They wouldn't talk to me. They just refused to talk to me, right? Unless I handed over $500 to go and have a pre-meeting with them. Yeah. And it just got bogged down in bureaucracy, and I just walked away from it. It's like, this should have been a walk in the park, right? No complications at all.
Well, that's what I think. That's what I think they want, right? They want to make it hard so they don't have to do any work. So they try and hammer small businesses as hard as they can, so that we walk away and don't try. $500 is cheap right now. Crafty on the Gold Coast, I've got to pay $800.
Yeah.
Before they'll give me a meeting date and a meeting time.
Bloody hell!
I already paid $12,500 a year rates, and I can't even get a meeting for free. It's ridiculous, right? Ridiculous.
I was actually talking with a friend of mine this morning, not related to distilling at all, but she was trying to get in contact with council as well, and she kept calling up, and eventually got the comment that, they don't talk to constituents.
Yeah.
That's your whole... They've forgotten we pay their wages?
Yeah.
Well, they talk to you once every 4 years.
Yeah, once every 4 years. Yeah, while they're standing outside the local public school.
Hand you a pamphlet you don't want.
Oh, Jesus.
No, they're very much... it's also when you can have conversations, they're very much like the ATO. It's like you talk to someone and you get a position from the ATO, and then you talk to someone else and you get a different position. And it's like, is there not a policy? Is there not a set policy, and you guys follow the rules and give us our instructions and what we need to do? And it's not structured that way. And I've had dealings with other government departments. I'm amazed the country works because the level of bureaucracy is just, it's mind-blowing, right? It's absolutely anyway, we're way off topic, but I think we know what we're talking about.
But it's certainly something that everybody in the industry deals with.
Oh, God.
That lack of standards from council to council, from state to state.
Yeah.
Different strokes for different folks, depending on how much money you're able to throw at it. I don't think there's ever going to be a way around that.
Well, I was talking to someone at a safety training seminar, and he was told he needed to get a consultant. And the consultant said to him, deposit $20,000 in my bank, and we'll just go from there. It's like, what?
Yeah. Here's a blank check here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And the problem is, right, that the state, there can be a state ruling that the council doesn't even apply to, or says, no, our ruling's different to the state. Even in most cases, the state rule supersedes the council rule. They just fight between each other, and small business gets stuck in the middle, and we're the ones paying the bills. And it's just, I'm not sure how we stop. I agree with you, Luke. I'm not sure how we actually stop this. It's so out of control that they're getting away with it, and somehow we've got to try and pull it back in. Otherwise, we won't have small business in Australia. It doesn't.
No.
Any small business will be gone.
Yeah.
So, hello, Ian. He's
Ian.
a regular.
Not the
Ian,
first
I've
time.
discovered that WA stands for West. Wait a while.
That's cool.
Yep.
So David's got a unique perspective because of the Australia's Distillers Association. So, Dave, why don't you give us a rundown from your perspective when you came into the role, right, and how you saw the Australian industry, and give us the good, the bad, the ugly, and you see where you think it's all going to go.
Well, I'd love to give you 100% of the story, but unfortunately, legally, I'm not allowed to, which is incredibly disappointing for me, to be honest. I would love to be able to tell, our industry what actually happened and how I ended up as president of Australian Distillers, but unfortunately, I can't. I've done my best to be able to talk to legal people to see how we can, but the feedback is we can't. So. But what I can say is that when I was sort of asked by a group of people to take over, I absolutely said no, because I'm busy enough trying to freaking keep things going, Yeah. So, but somehow they convinced me, and the organisation was in much worse shape than I could have ever imagined, and. We, in all honesty, we wouldn't be here. Australian Distillers wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for a really small group of people that put a huge amount of hours into saving the organisation, their own time, their own effort, their own skill, their own business experience to actually save it. And look, to be real honest, we're not 100% there yet. Crafty, you're on our barrel room session out last week, and I said, we're still in this real fixing phase at the ADA. So that's the past. We can't change the past. What we can do is change the future, and I'm really, really focused in my role there to make sure that we have a board that's active as a board, not just sitting there and putting their hands up, say, "Oh, I'm on the Australian board." That doesn't help any Australian distiller at all.
Yeah,
and making sure that we have a group on the a board that has different skills that can add to our industry. We can't just have people sitting on there that think they have the skills. So you guys have been around long enough. You can imagine this has not been an easy road. For me to negotiate and have to tell people that's probably time you thought about doing something else, and also get on the phone and try and convince new people to join in different roles, because the bottom line is we ain't going to survive as Australian Distillers, and we ain't going to survive as an Australian spirits industry if we don't have really a group of people with different skills that can really help. And that's what we do. So, the last sort of, I don't even know how long I've been president now. Not I don't think a year yet. Maybe a year. Just.
Well, that's when you're having fun.
Yeah. So my whole focus has been on restructuring the board, restructuring the executive committee. That sort of. So the way we set up is we have a board, and then we have an executive committee, which is usually the president, vice president, treasurer.
Right.
And so we still have that now. We still have, obviously, on the executive, the president, vice president, treasurer. But we've also brought in sort of what we call a strategic role within that, which is a guy called Tim Slate down from Tassie, so Greenmount Distillery.
Right.
And the reason is for that is that Tim comes from Diageo, has a lot of experience around different aspects of the distilling industry that the other people on the executive and the board don't have.
Yeah.
So I really see my role as the president not to be the person coming up with all the ideas, or not to be the person, pointing the ship in one direction like potentially it's been before, because I don't think that's healthy for the industry.
Yep.
My role really is to sit on the board as the president, as the chair, and make sure that I'm asking the right questions, getting the board to think about the industry now and in the future, getting the board to think about the problems that everyone has, big, small, medium, large, and just making sure I'm asking those questions and getting them to really think, and not letting them be lazy is probably the wrong word, but because I think we've got a really great board now. But in the past, it's been easy for people just to sit there and really do nothing, and that's not adding value to our members.
No. So you're primarily everyone engaged.
Everyone has to be engaged, right? Everyone on the board, as far as I'm concerned, has to bring value.
Yeah. That's the point.
Even though that's the point of it, right? Even though nobody in our board is paid, we have only one employee in the ADA, and that's Kylie Lethbridge, who's our CEO.
Yeah.
Everyone else does it for free. And trust me, I'm being super honest here. I've told the board there's no freaking way I would have got into this job if I know how many hours I have to do in it.
Yeah.
Because it's out of control. It's completely out of control, to the point where I've had, we're a family business at Granddad Jack's. My wife works here, my son works here, my son's partner. I've got grandkids running around. And, there's been many points in the last 12 months where my wife and my son have gone, hey, you got to work on our business. You're spending way too much time working on ADA stuff. But I'm the sort of person, once I commit to something, I don't want to let it go. And I've seen the problems, and we need to fix those problems. And hopefully by the time, people kick me out of the role, we're in a much better place, and the industry's, got a bit of focus.
Yeah.
We still got a lot of work to do. We're still, the ADA as a whole is still not on absolute solid ground. We've got to work really hard, the board, to make sure we can survive the future.
What is it that the distillers and the members can do to assist with that?
That's a really good question.
Double down in isolation. You're there working for everyone, but everyone else has to work for you as well. Are there any sort of sticking points or things that could be better, or you could get assistance with from the wider distilling community?
I think there definitely is, but I think first of all we've got to be more transparent as the ADA. We've got to communicate a lot better. I'm really pleased on how our communications evolved since Kylie come on board. And remember, I only took this role on, I think, maybe 4 weeks before Kylie started, or 5 weeks before Kylie started, and it was a disaster zone. So, but I'm really happy about the level of communication that we're getting to now. But first of all, we need to make sure we're communicating with our members on what we're actually doing and the different areas, because, to be honest, until I got in this role, I didn't even realise the amount of work that goes on in the ADA from multiple sources, right? So I'll give you an example, for Sands, there's labelling issues happening all the time. We've got different lobbyist groups trying to turn spirits into like cigarette packet. We've got to continue to fight. We've got the lobbyist groups that think drinking's the worst thing in the world. We've got to continue to, they're hitting politicians, and we've got to be able to hit back. We've got things like, AMR issues, which I think we all are very much aware of, those unintended consequences. We've got to manage the PR and the lobbyists at Spirits and Cocktails, for example. And for those of you who don't know who Spirits and Cocktails are a lobbyist group that are fully funded by the big international brands. So your Pernod Ricard, your Diageo's, your Brown-Formans. And so we've got to keep on top of that to make sure that they're not telling government a story that can wreck our members' businesses. So there's many, many things coming at us in the ADA all the time that our members don't directly see.
Mm.
So we've got to get much better at communicating that for our members, and that's really when Kylie started. I said I know she'd done it in beer, had these sort of forum meetings, and I said I want to really get into this monthly sort of what we call in the barrel room sessions now, and so that everyone can come on board and just hit us up with whatever question they want. Yep. Because I think in the past, the ADA board and the ADA executive have been, no one really knows what the hell they were doing. Yeah. And so it was like this secret club that were making decisions for all of our members based on their own opinion. And I think what I've tried to do, and I'm really passionate about this, is I consistently, and you can ask any of the board, some of them probably dislike me for it, but I'm not there to be liked. I constantly say to them, like, we are not here to think about this industry and make decisions based on our own personal businesses. We are here to make decisions based on the whole of the spirits industry in Australia.
Yeah.
That's what we need to look at. And so any time in a board meeting these days that I feel someone's thinking about their own business or making a comment based on what they do in their own business, I just remind them that we're here to support the whole industry, not just the way what your business model does, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. So we have to build culture. I'm doing this a long answer to your question, Luke, but we need to build the right culture at the board level. We need to communicate better with members, and if we do that, then we will see a clear path on what members can do for the whole Australian distilling industry. But we're not quite there yet. We're definitely heading in the right direction, though.
Very good.
Yeah. Well, my own personal take on previous was most of the conversation was centered around on excise, all right, and what could be done, from a lobbying perspective with government, and that was always put up as that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing, but it was very unclear what else was getting done, all right. So to your point, this getting the message across to the membership of, guys, this is what's going on. And also, like you said, with the barrel room, a monthly teams meeting, and any member can pipe up and go, hey, what about such and such? And you got a forum for discussion. I think it's a really good move, mate. I really do.
Yeah, and we're going to enhance that. We're going to have, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell everyone. So if I'm going to get in trouble with Kylie and the rest of the board, oh, well, so be it, right? But at the conference this year, there's one thing I really want to make sure we had in there is what we call poke the beer. So everybody in that room is going to be able to ask me and other people, other board members, big spirits brands, CEOs, what their problem is, what they hate about what we're doing, and we're there to answer it directly and honestly, and obviously if it's a commercial, if we can't talk about pricing, that sort of stuff, but we can talk about the industry as a whole, and I think that's really important because like I've lived my life. You just got to be honest with people, and sometimes they don't like the honesty. But at least you can walk down the street and you're not going to worry about someone tapping you on the back because you bullshitted them, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the culture I want to bring to the ADA, where we just tell it how it is. We talk the honest story, and we're not all going to like it all the time, but at least we know we're freaking, we're on the same wavelength. We're not talking a hole in the wall,
Yeah. No, it's a big part.
Oh, there's a long one coming from Ian again. Health labelling on smoking products obviously has some impact, but it's drove a lot of people into the black market. Scotland looked at blanking out spirit stores and shelf.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
All this is coming. All this is coming, right?
They're trying this on us all the time. And this is the massive workload that Kylie has as a sole employee, right? That these things are just coming in the inbox every week. The amount of organisations and people that, we've created this over-regulated system in our country, and then these people have to justify their bloody jobs, and so they just keep making new rules, and so keeping on top of that is incredibly important. For me, I learned a lot about that when I was in a bit of trouble with Brown Foreman and the Jack Daniels brand a few years ago, and we had a disagreement, and but we've sorted it out now, and so they actually ended up inviting me. The Brown Foreman guys invited me to the World Spirits Convention. I don't know if you guys ever heard about the World Spirits Convention.
No. I
hadn't either. So I just said, yeah, I'll go, but I didn't know what it was about or anything. So what happens every year, the big international brands get together in the World Spirits Convention in Geneva.
Right.
And so they get there and they talk about all these rules we're talking about, these labeling rules, what governments are trying to do, and they all get together and they talk about what rules are coming from what countries and how that's going to affect the spirits industry and what we can do as a spirits industry to stop it. And it's a really valuable 3-day get-together. So somehow, because of our disagreement with Brown Foreman and Jack Daniels, we got this invite. So I was the only independent little small business in the room. And the second day in at coffee in the morning, this bloke comes up to me and goes, "Do you not know how to do up buttons?" And I said, "Yeah, I know how to do up buttons." He goes, "Mate, you're the only one here wearing a freaking T-shirt. All the rest of us got ties and shirts on." I said, "I don't care. This is how I dress." So, but what I learned from that experience, which was quite interesting, and I ended up being in bars at night, having a few bloody great times with some of these people. But what I learned from that is that we don't know what we don't know. And as small businesses, we sit in our spot and we're busting our ass every day of the week to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
And we don't have the brain space all the time to see what's happening globally or even nationally in our business.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's so important that as small businesses, we support organizations like the ADA or whoever it is you're in, right? Because without them, we won't know about these things until it's too late.
Yeah, 100%. Mate, if I came from a printing inks background, and my area of specialty was food packaging and tobacco, and I hated doing tobacco, right? Because I'm not a smoker, right?
Food packaging, making rubbish.
Oh yeah, but I was heavily involved in the whole health warnings, right? And how that was introduced and rolled out, and how it was basically mandated. And so the printers all of a sudden had to go and spend millions on their printing machines to put extra units on so they could generate these diseased lung images, things, right? And the thing was, when it first came up in discussion, and we were all involved in these discussions, it was clear that the strategy was flawed because they launched it in Canada. And what happened is they became like trading cards. People were going around looking for the diseased lung or the gangrene finger or something like that. But it didn't impact on sales. It actually, people were buying more because they were constantly shopping around. So I've raised this with the ADA a number of times at the conference, that I personally have a fear that we're losing valuable real estate on our labels, and things like health warnings, they're coming, they're going to be bigger. Now you got return and earn and all these others. So you'll love this, David. This is a release which is coming out.
The camera's in there. Where the light
You've been
is.
looking at that. I can't see it. How about you?
Oh, it's like bright. I can't see it.
Yeah,
It's
give
like,
it to me.
Now,
This is why we have an IT person in the room. In the middle.
Yeah, that's the only reason he's here.
Technophobe.
So what I've
Don't
done,
worry, I need the same people.
he's going to put it up on screen,
I'm going to try to.
is I've created a label, and the front label has all the things that are potentially coming. You got it? Yep.
I'm trying.
Try. So
Patience, precious.
the label, I'll talk to it while doing it.
I can't because I need it. Fuck off. Fuck off.
So things like I've taken the barcode, I've increased the size of the barcode, the public, the pregnancy warning, I've increased the size of the pregnancy warning. Then I put a huge fucking nutritional block, right?
There you go. You can use it.
So Now I can't.
No, you
What?
can't.
No, you can use the phone now.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you can look
Oh,
at
so on the label, he's got it now.
I will in a minute.
So on the label, it's titled "Protect Our Design Space," and here it is.
No, it's not ready yet. Just keep on
Oh,
talking.
okay. I got energy information,
It's on the screen
and on the
below.
label, I've got manufactured by Bland Non-Creative Space Distillery in 111 Hotes Avenue, New South Wales.
Sensational. Great work, Crafty.
So that is going to be a release, mate. And my hope is that distillers will buy it and put it on their shelf.
It's going to make no sense to the average punter.
To the average punter, it makes
None whatsoever.
and you look at it and you go,
Yeah,
"What
yeah.
the fuck is going on?" But
It's going to be fun
that
selling
is
at the
a
market.
very real scenario of what we're
It is.
facing.
But
And
what we're doing at the ADA with this is we realise that, right? And we're fighting really, really hard, and we're pushing really, really hard, and we have support from Spirits and Cocktails, so all the big internationals.
Yep.
And what we're saying is we are not accepting to take away space from our brands. Our members invest a lot of money to build their brands, and we're not
Yep.
accepting it.
Yep.
And we have new technology, which is QR codes.
Yep.
Oh, here it is. Fantastic. Oh, you've
See-
even got the containers for change on there.
Yep, I tried to find as much as possible, but where can I put my stuff in there?
Yeah. So what we're fighting for all of our members right now,
Yeah.
and this will be ongoing, is a QR that you just scan that has all that information on the QR code.
Yeah.
And what we're saying is every consumer knows how to use a QR code. It's been with us for many years now. Yeah, it's just about information. Craft spirits bottles, we don't have big full bottle labels in a lot of instances. They're small labels. So let's work with them. So I can assure everybody listening that we are going to fight real hard, and we're not going to back down on pushing for this QR code and not having to design labels like you just have. It's just not on.
Yeah, no, that's good, and because it's flawed. It's a flawed strategy. It's proven in tobacco.
Yeah, well,
It don't work.
They just become eye candy, I guess, and
Yeah.
people's become oblivious to it. It's like
and
warning labels
overwhelming.
and built-
Like that is pretty overwhelming. There's a lot of fucking info there.
That's
No
the
one's
problem.
going to read it. Consumers don't read it. They don't give a shit, right?
Yeah,
The consumers do not care about it.
That's not the back label. That's the front label.
But just so that you're aware, the back label looks rather similar.
Cool.
Anyway, that's a bit of self-promotion. I'm cooking.
I know. I was dying in here.
Remember, don't stand up because you're still wearing those
The microphones.
smudgy
Well,
stuff.
it is 19 degrees down there, so Jesus, she's a hot winter's
Gee, I think
afternoon.
the camera.
Oh,
Oh man! Oh gee! Stop it!
put it away.
Oh gee!
You said they can only see from our waist up.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, but
that's
me-
the rest of us have to see it.
Oh, where I put my pants? Where are they?
They better go home. Yeah.
Hey, so all you, if the three of you coming to the conference next month?
No,
Oh, come
it clashes. It clashes with Whisky on the Murray, which is a festival at Cora, and I've got a couple other things all happening in a really, really tight succession. So I thought, no, I can't do it this time around. But has it been decided where it's going to be next year, or not yet?
No, not yet. It won't be decided at a conference either, to be honest.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's going to be a longer process. We need to make sure that we've got a stable foundation.
Yeah.
And the ADA moving forward before we go. It's a massive investment. It's I don't think anyone in Australian distillers would do it because we're a small organisation with total income per year less than $1 million, and yet people have decided to do a conference once a year that costs $500,000 to put on. So it makes no business sense, right? So we've got to really think about how we do this in the future, and also now we have every state doing their state conferences on top of that.
Yeah.
Sponsorship is now thinner than ever in a tougher environment than ever.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly risky,
Yeah.
For an organisation our size to be gambling on a $500,000 event each year. I think.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe our members think differently, but we've got to be careful.
So Ian's piped up. What are your thoughts on the new WA bottle return scheme charges to producers?
What is
I think it's like I'm probably going to get in trouble with this, but to be honest, I don't really care.
Trouble's the middle name.
let me tell you, like I
It's
think
only
it's
Ian watching at the moment, so
I think it's an absolute scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. That's a scam. They're asking us to pay for something they're asking us to pay for a service that they're not doing.
Yeah.
In every state they're asking people. We've had it in Queensland. Our state government put it in 2 years ago now in Queensland, spirits bottles and wine bottles, and they sent everyone a big long contract, and they literally said in this contract we had to sign it. It was law. Well, it was not law to sign the contract. It's law to pay the fee, but not law to sign the contract. And literally this contract said, if we decide at any point in time that the amount of bottles you're telling us you've sold is not correct, then our numbers are what we're going to go with. So I refused to sign it. And to this day, Granddad Jack's has not paid 1 cent in the recycle scheme in Queensland in the last 2 years because they told me they couldn't send me an invoice because I didn't sign the contract. So each year, per the legislation, we've submitted the amount of bottles we've sold and asked them to send us an invoice so we can pay it. And they've refused to send us an invoice so we can pay it because we haven't signed the contract. and we'll never ever sign the contract because it's not law to sign a contract like that. So I think every state should be fighting hard. I know Kylie, our CEO at ADA has been really fighting hard, and other people in Queensland right now. They sent us a message out. We fought really hard against it in Queensland. And when I say we, probably me more than anyone else, because they were coming after us because we didn't sign the contract. And we've got first 20,000 bottles exempt from the scheme. Mm-hmm. So I think we should have that in every single state, if not more. Mm-hmm. So I think we're fighting really, really hard. We've got that in Queensland now. I think it should be the same in every state. And I think that if we can get minimum of 20,000 bottles in each state that are exempt from the system, more than 85% of all of our members won't be paying it. So that's really, really important that we get to that.
Mm. Yeah. So I'm just looking through it all now. So Queensland did it first, adding wine and spirit bottles. WA, is next, rolling out mid 2026, which will include wine, spirits, casks, and larger juice containers. New South Wales and South Australia have announced that they will follow suit.
2028,
but I can't see a time frame on that.
Yeah, I think it's 2028.
Victoria, Tasmania, NT, and ACT currently exclude glass and spirit bottles.
They'll all follow suit.
They'll all follow suit, no doubt.
Yeah. They're going to do it, but the problem is we've got to make sure that we get this exemption for the first at least 20,000 bottles, right? We have to do that. We need to fight for that. Every state needs to fight for it with support from the ADA. We've managed it in Queensland. There's absolutely no reason why we can't manage it nationally. The other thing, we need to make sure that this is a national scheme, which is what we're pushing for. Because at the moment, what will end up happening, which is happening with RTDs, for example, you have to register in each state, and then you're paying twice in some instances. So because you're selling it in Queensland and then sending it to Victoria, for example, or South Australia, wherever it might be, then you've got to register on their scheme and then pay it again. So they're double dipping. But ultimately, I think we've got a good chance nationally to get the exemption for the at least 20,000 bottles, because manufacturers have to pay for 100% of the containers they sell.
Yeah.
But nowhere near 100% of containers are being recycled. So we're getting charged for a service that we're not receiving. That's fraud. There's absolutely no way around that's 100% fraud. You can't charge a customer for something and not deliver the service.
Yeah.
So we can't let them away with this. We've got to fight, and that's what we'll do.
Do they get around that by saying that it's a incentive program rather than a, I'm not sure what the other word would be, but as an incentive scheme to consumers rather than a cost to industry?
Well, I don't know. I don't know any incentive scheme that makes the manufacturer pay.
Yeah.
So, and the reality is that, I mean, geez, I wish that at ADA we had a great marketing fund, because I'd like to have a campaign that shows the poor consumer that's getting 10 cents that they should be getting at least 15 cents or 18 cents, because us manufacturers are paying 30 cents.
Yeah.
Like, come on. That's the campaign, right? There's going to be a lot of consumers pissed off that they're only getting 10 cents. And by the way, even Queensland, and this will happen in every other state if you investigate, but in Queensland, their own records show that they're sitting on tens of millions of dollars that they're just wasting, because manufacturers are paying 100% of the containers and they're not recycling 100%. So the difference that they're holding on to, right, and they're not having any cost. It's like us selling a bottle. It's like you craft, you sell a bottle of whiskey, but you have zero cost to sell it, and you take all the money. That's what these guys are doing. It's crazy.
Yes. So we've got another comment. That's great to hear.
Yeah. So in follow up to the bottle return and earn scheme. Just before I emigrated, the Scottish government spent loads on new return stations, and due to it being a joke, plus the fact producers threatened to export and save on costs. Yeah, it's obviously an issue worldwide. Nobody's come up with a decent solution to it. Aside from the fact that, do they actually recycle all of that glass?
No.
What they get, do they recycle it?
Was the stuff they're already collecting being recycled, or is this going into a big warehouse?
Well, this. Well, I don't know about every other state, but I would say it's pretty similar to Queensland. And our investigation showed 2 years ago in Queensland that they only around 60% of all deposit locations could actually scan a bottle. The rest can't. They don't have machinery, so they had no idea. They have, and still today in Queensland, they have no idea whose bottles are going through the system at all, zero. And then they can't recycle all the glass in Australia because we don't manufacture glass. So some of it goes into road base, and the rest of it gets crushed and goes on a big boat back to China. So how environmentally friendly is that? Not very, right? And I'm sure the same thing is happening in every other state. Now, aluminium and plastic different, but glass and spirits bottles are much harder to, they're thicker, they're heavier, they're much harder to manage. So it's just that their program is flawed. They need to go back to basics and really work out how they're going to protect all of industry and the environment, all these things they talk about, but not just, at the moment, it's just a money grab for no reason.
It's a bit like the whole just recycling in general. How you have your recycle bin and you put it out there and you make sure it's just cardboard and recyclables, right? But you know damn well that
the same truck.
Exactly. It all goes back to one depot and just all put together because they go, oh, that one's contaminated. Poof, straight in. So the costs of managing it outweigh the actual benefits of the process that we're actually trying to achieve.
Well, there's people getting super rich on this. If you look at some of these organisations that run these recycle depots, right? Yeah. Especially we've got a couple in Australia that are big international organisations that are now here in Australia, right? Their executives are on hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It's outrageous how much money overseas corporates are making from the scheme. And the poor Australian consumers getting 10 cents a bottle, a container. Come on.
And at the same time, paying $110 allow in excise. So half your bottle cost is in tax, plus your GST on top of that.
Yeah.
Booze could be so much cheaper.
Have you seen there's a Facebook post going around, I think it's Depot Brewery, and they did this thing and they had images of Albo and the state premier dressed in T-shirts of the brewery and standing side by side with the owners of the brewery. And they basically said, these guys, government, are our silent partners in business. And they actually take more out of the business than what we do, right?
Yeah,
and then they talked about excise and that, an example that these guys just put it up with no discussion. And so basically our share in our business is decreasing of our own business because of our silent business partners, the government, state and government.
And the reality is, right, that all small business owners, not just in our industry, but and I've been in many industries. I've worked myself 37 years this year, far too long working for myself, to be honest. But now I'm unemployable, so I'm buggered, And the reality is, we work our asses off. We don't pay ourselves as much as we pay our staff in most cases.
Yeah.
In most cases, we don't even pay ourselves super because we're trying to keep reinvest in our businesses.
Yeah.
And we only make money when we sell them.
Yeah.
And now they're going to take it all off us. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That is not. I really hope that we can, I don't know how because I'm not a politician, but geez, this is not good. This is really not good for small business, and we've got to fight somehow.
And small business is the backbone of Australia. So if small business fails, Australia fails. It really does. And small businesses are getting crushed at regulations, taxes, for us excise, and a multitude
all
of
the
things.
health and safety,
work cover.
Work cover. Yeah.
It's unbelievable how much you got to fork out for that, right? And it's just layer up and layer up and layer. And you go, man, I had no idea. I thought I would just come in and make booze and I'd be happy and sell and get a decent profit and go on holiday from time to time.
How much time out of your week do you guys think you'd spend just managing compliance? Have you ever thought about it?
Well, you're probably talking to the wrong person on that one.
Let's just mute them.
Only when you get in trouble, Crafty, then you manage it, do you?
I'm a one-man operation, mate. I have a lot of toolbox discussions with myself, believe me.
However, that is an area that we're working on at the moment.
That is an area we're working on at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I reckon these days probably 20% of my entire week would just be on compliance. Whether that's dealing with something that, work covers changed, or setting up, some change in payroll, which we've got coming up 1st of July, where it's, payday super.
Every fortnight.
Yep, it's work cover sending something new out, some new thing in Queensland. It's staff. Like, okay, I've got a problem here. Someone's away. Like, it's just constant. I feel it feels like it's all I do is manage shit instead of have fun.
And there's the new stuff coming in. It's not just maintaining what you currently have.
Correct. Yeah, that's right, Tom. Yeah.
Well, let's get back to the fun stuff.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, let's do that. Cheers.
Booze. Tell us more about your booze.
Yeah.
So what's your range of products that you've got?
So we have in our core range, I think now we have let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6, 7 in our core range. So we have 4 different gins. The one you're drinking now, 65 miles, which is our Navy strength gin. So star anise, clove, orange peel, cinnamon, sort of that spicy Christmas.
It's a real winter warmer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
Maybe
smooth for 57%, right?
We're all drinking that.
So yeah,
Definitely.
we have the four gins, a botanical, like a London Dry, the Navy Strength we've got, and then we have what we call Albion gin, which we didn't up until we used to have two distilleries. We had the one I'm at now on the Gold Coast in Miami, right by the beach, and then we had a second distillery in Albion and Brizzy. But that distillery unfortunately went completely underwater in the 2022 floods, so we lost it. And so we had a gin up there, which is in our core range now, which is called Albion Gin, and it's a special one because we made Albion Gin because we wanted to connect with that community where we were in Albion and Brizzy, and along the Albion River. Some people call it the Albion Creek. We found that back in the early 1930s and 1940s, the Asian settlers come in and they grew pink oyster mushrooms along the Albion Creek. So our Albion Gin has a couple of the ingredients in it is pink oyster mushroom and soy sauce. So it's like earthy, briny. I like seafood. I love cooking seafood on the barbie, and I drink just neat Albion, no mixer, with seafood, and it's like coffee and chocolate or red wine and cheese. Like it's even better when you just sip on it with eating seafood.
Wow.
And then we have a vodka, and we have our coffee liqueur, which we've been super, super lucky. It's won best coffee liqueur in the world twice now at San Francisco World Spirits.
Wow.
So yeah, we have they're the sort of core range of spirits, and we're lucky enough now to we send those to places. You know, we send a bit to New Zealand and Singapore, Malaysia, Japan, Denmark, Sweden, Norway.
So export is a pretty decent part of your business then.
It's still not the biggest part, but it's something we really focused on. I think you know the famous Stu Gregor told me, Dave, you'll never ever survive in this business because you're not selling to retail. And I said, why is that, Stu? And he told me, well, you know, you got to sell to retail or no one will know your brand. And I said, well, we're too small. We can't afford to sell to retail. There's no margin. So even in the early days, I could see that this excise was going to be a problem for our family business, and that we were not big enough to play the volume game. We just we would not be able to fund it. We're not big enough, so we had to have a business model that was different. And still today, 98% of everything we sell in Australia is direct to the consumer, whether it be from our distillery door in the Gold Coast in our bar, or from our cocktail bar in Newcastle, or from our online business. And that's really a decision we made early on. So we're really unique like that, where we've had multiple chances to sell to the big chains, but we won't. We just stuck to our core philosophy, and that is the best way for us to sell more product is to give the consumer an experience, whether that's when they come into our venues, do distillery tours, you know, or go to our cocktail bar in Newcastle, which is the only cocktail bar in Australia that's 100% one brand, just Granddad Jack's. So, and we have an amazing team there, amazing group of bartenders. So I think, our philosophy has always been, in all honesty, we don't trust the person in the retail store to tell our story, and we know that we spend a massive amount of time. I think I haven't got one here, but we've got a full staff manual, training manual. So when someone comes to work at Granddad Jack's, you get the full manual. I can honestly say that if I'm not in any of our venues, you will still get the same Granddad Jack's story. Any of our team, right? I think that's an incredible thing we've really focused on. But also we've been really lucky to have some amazing, it's definitely not me. Like, we're surrounded on, we've got some amazing team here that are incredible at what they do, and we got up until just a few months ago when she left, which was horrible to move to Newcastle because her husband changed jobs. We had full-time R&D. Well, I think today, you guys probably know more than me, but I think still today we're the only distillery that produces a brand new spirit every single month of the year, which we call our limited releases. There's no one else putting the time and effort into that R&D. But it's also a revenue stream for us, right? Because it's twofold. One, it allows us to engage with our customer base every single month with a new story. Which you can't do just if you have a core range, and we get to do that every single month. We get to tell a new story. And secondly, because we've got such an intense R&D program, our R&D grant every year is quite significant.
I was going to ask that. Okay, you just answered it.
And we've got much better over the years documenting every single aspect of our R&D, so we can get the maximum out of the R&D grant.
And do you do all that yourselves, or do you use consultants to assist with that?
We use a consultant
myself before, and it's a fucking nightmare.
No, we use a consultant to do the application.
Yep.
But between us and the consultant, we use the same consultant now for I think 7 years, and so we've developed our internal system to monitor every single aspect of our R&D.
Yeah.
So that by the time our consultant submits it now, it's so dialed in. That it works really, really well. But it took us a little while to understand it. But it's in our business, it's worth it because we're developing so many products. So and now I think we're now. Last year we did the first European one-off limited release spirit. So we did a limited release spirit for a cocktail bar in the south of Sweden, and we did south of Denmark, west of Denmark, sorry, and then we did another limited release for a cocktail bar in the south of Sweden. So what we're doing now in those export markets is because we've got the R&D problems, you can imagine we have hundreds and hundreds of recipes now. So for us to divert those recipes is much easier now than it was 8 years ago, for example. So now what we offer our distributors will go to one of their customers in those countries, and they'll say, "Hey, we'll make you a custom spirit." We have a system where those customers will fill out their flavor profile, what they want in that spirit. That gets sent to us from our distributor. Our R&D team here develop that profile. We FedEx or DHL a couple of small bottles. They do it, and then we've got our system down now. We do a minimum. We can do a minimum of 200 bottles for one-off individual bars in Europe now, limited releases. But what's happening? We've been really lucky. It's not by being smart, but we just got lucky where we said 200 minimum, but people are ordering pallets. So that's a really niche that we've been able to find in our brand because of the volume of, every single month we do a limited release here, which also keeps, my son Luke, the great grandson of Granddad Jack, is our head distiller, and it also keeps him sharp because he's constantly making new spirit, constantly having to think about having to put flavor. And one of the guys in Sweden, the bar in Sweden, we actually thought were taking the piss, because they sent us the thing and they said, at the end, we want to taste dough. They wanted a pizza gin.
Okay.
And we thought, they're taking the piss, right? But somehow our team here managed to, and Mika, who is unfortunately just left us, but she's still part of our family and our business, but she's not in the distillery anymore. She's in Newcastle, and we have a lab in our bar in Newcastle, which helps. And so Mika and Luke managed to design this pizza gin, and at the end note was just taste like dough, like a pizza.
Wow.
And so what we did is they ended up ordering more and more of it, and to do the design of the bottle, we did a promotion at the bar in in Sweden. We did a promotion where we brought all these customers into the bar, and we shipped over empty can bottles, and we got the customers to design this pizza gin label. So it was designed by the local people in the local town.
Oh, nice.
That's what all the bottles look like, and it's been incredibly rewarding from a brand point of view, but really, really good for us from an export point of view.
I would just comment on it too. You're like creating so many different spirits. You have created a library of flavors, so it's getting easier and easier for you to actually dial in a specific flavor, because you just go to your library and go, better that one, better that one, better that, and you're not creating it from a base
from scratch. Yeah. But to be honest, not for me, guys. I have absolutely nothing to do with the distilling. In fact, my son probably won't let me anywhere near that still. It's his absolute passion. Him and Mika are the people who have that real skill to put these together. It's definitely not me.
Very cool.
My job in the Granddad Jack's business is the shittiest, most boringest job ever, because I just have to deal with all the back end stuff. I sit in my little office here, and everyone else gets the fun stuff out the front, and I'm just a bloke on his own in the office dealing with the numbers and the bloody problems and
So why are we talking to you? Why are we not talking to Luke?
Well, great question. Maybe you need to get Luke on, because he's way smarter than me.
Oh, brilliant. It's great that you get to work with your family every day as well. That must create some interesting dinner time conversations, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, I think, like, the reality is there's in our family, it's all work. Like, it's incredibly difficult for us to be at a family event or a barbecue or dinner or birthday party and the conversation doesn't end up talking about Granddad Jack's. So this never ever happens, right? Like, it doesn't matter how much we try, it always ends up like that. But I think how we started it was I was wanting to tell my grandfather's life story, and I didn't really know how to do it. He was a barber for 47 years as well, and I thought, let's start a barber shop and tell his story. But in the end, I figured out, well, we should just have a distillery to tell his story, because he loved a whiskey, and he had a whiskey every single day of his life. So we thought, what a great place. But how it came about is that we're at a family barbecue, and my son was a mechanic at the time, and he was only 18, maybe 19. And I said to him, look, I reckon we should open a distillery, because what better place to tell Granddad's story, because he loved a whiskey. But I said, I'm too old to learn new tricks. So if you want to learn how to be a distiller, we'll do it. And it was a bit of a joke, but then like probably most of us in the industry, we find out, holy shit, this is way harder than we thought, and it costs way more money than we thought. So we should probably get a little bit serious about it. So that's how it started. And then we ended up, I'd been lucky enough in another business. I worked in NASCAR and based out of North Carolina, a little place called Maudesville, for a couple of years. And the days off during the week I had, which wasn't many to be honest, I used to love going to the small little neighborhood distilleries and breweries, and I'd spend my whole time there. So when we decided to do it, I said to Luke, let's go to America and first find out what the hell we actually need to build a distillery, because we had no idea. And secondly, now that we realize this is going to cost more than we thought, we probably should do a half-assed job of it, like, let's actually have a go. And so our theory was we go there to find out what the hell we needed. And secondly, we need to find someone to bring back to Australia that could take Luke from being a car mechanic to a commercial distiller faster than anyone else had done it. And we were lucky enough. One day we're in this, one morning, it was about 10:30. We're in this little distillery in, where were we at? In California somewhere. San Diego, just outside of San Diego. It's called San Diego Distillery. This guy called Trent owns it, right? And we're there, and it's just a little place, and he's got all these barrels of whiskey, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. We're drinking this whiskey, and it's fucking amazing, And I was like touching Luke, going, "Hey, this is our guy. This is the guy to bring back. He's like super passionate. He's an amazing dude, right?" So I said, "Hey, Trent, this is our go. Will you come back to Australia and teach Luke how to be a distiller?" And he goes, "Nah, I'm a psych nurse. I just do this as a hobby." He says, my real job's a psych nurse, so I can't do it, right? But he goes, I know this bloke called Blake Heffernan. He works at You and Yours Distillery downtown San Diego. He's your guy. He goes, he's super passionate. He's young. He's won lots of awards. A couple of days later, we're down San Diego and we're going to this You and Yours Distillery. And there's myself, Luke, and my wife, Nikki. And we walk in there. Just as we walk in, they're doing this like tour, right? Distillery tour. We're excited. Hey, buddy, can we get on this tour? And the lady goes, oh, we've just got 3 spots. I say, great, there's only 3 of us. So we get on this distillery tour at You and Yours, and we're going out the back, and there's this old black Labrador, right? And we're on this tour, and they're telling us about the still and what they do. And this black Labrador's like bumping into everyone. And the girl that was doing the tour goes, don't worry about that. It's Blake's dog, because this guy, Trent, had told us he's the head distiller at You and Yours, right? That's why we went there. And he goes, don't worry about the dog. It's Blake's dog. He's our head distiller. It just wants a pat. So next thing, people are patting this bloody black Labrador, right? And then he whistles, and he was around the back. So he whistles, and the dog takes off. So I'm like, I disappear from the group, follow the dog around the back, and I go, hey, are you Blake Heffernan? He goes, yeah. He goes, oh, I said, oh, Trent from San Diego Distillery told me about you. Can I take your card and give you an email? I don't want to tell you the story now. Obviously, you're busy. Anyway, I go back to the motel that night and I send him an email. Say, hey, I'm Dave. I told him the story of Granddad Jack. A couple of days later, he emails back and goes, hey, meet me at this brewery. So we meet him at this like craft brewery up the road. And I go to the bar, and the story is my son at the time hadn't turned 21 and we're in America. So my wife faked his ID, his driver's license. She went to the craft shop and changed the fucking thing on his driver's license. So I'm there with my wife's back at the motel. She didn't want to go because she thought she was going to get in trouble because of the license thing. So I go with my son, and Blake's sitting there at a table just by the bar. And, hey, you want a beer, mate? Yeah, I'll have a beer. I'll go get these beers. I come back and he goes, I go, hey, this probably sounds weird, but we really want to talk to you about Australia and teaching Luke. And he goes, I don't care what you tell me, I'm in. And I'm like, what? He goes, I'm in. And at the time, I didn't realise that he had a very similar relationship with his grandfather that I had. And so long story short, Blake come to Australia. He lived with us in our house. He taught Luke how to distill. He's that without Blake Heffernan, we would not be where we are today. Luke would not be the distilleryist. That guy is the absolute person who he designed our still. He managed the still production out of the US for us. He came here, lived with us. We had to fly him back every 3 months because we couldn't give him a visa. But he just become absolute part of our family. He lived with us. He drank with us. And in fact, just last year, Luke flew back to the US for his wedding, which was awesome. We would have all loved to go, but it was a tough year last year. We couldn't afford it. But Luke went back, which was awesome. Yeah. So that's sort of how we got there, and the story around why we do what we do is just based on that, really.
How long did Blake reside in Australia?
He was here. He did 3 stints of 3 months, so 6 months all up. Plus, then he come back, and then he come back and did another 2-week stint. But before we opened, he was him and Luke, put the still together. He arrived here. They just worked all day, all night to develop our first 3 gins, which is our greenhouse gin, our 2 pencils. Our greenhouse is a botanical. Our 2 pencils are London Dry, and the 65 that we're drinking tonight. There's no words that can explain this guy. We would not exist. And so, the first whiskey we ever did, we sent to Blake, and he sent us an amazing photo of him and his granddad sitting down, having this whiskey, and which was amazing.
Lovely.
Your first whiskey, if I recall, you put a lot of attention to detail. Sorry, it's been a long day and a long night.
Have another 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a book, wasn't it? It was.
It's still the book. It's on my desk. So it's still the book today. It's the only way you can buy Granddad Jack's whiskey, which is in this book. And I don't know how well you can see it there, but so this, as I said, this all come about. My mum and her two sisters wrote this "This Is Your Life" book, and they gave it to my granddad at his 90th birthday. And that was really the tipping point. So I've got to be able to tell my grandfather's story. So inside this book is that story that my mum and her two sisters wrote about my grandfather's life. And in each part of the story, it links to our core range spirits. So all of our core range are linked to a story in his life. So, for example, 65 miles that you're drinking now, when my grandfather was 14 years old, obviously his dad passed away before he was born, leaving the family farm just with his mum. And so he never got to work, be a kid. He'd go to school. He just had to work. So at 14 years old, his mum sat him down and said, I need you to go find some work because I haven't been able to pay the mortgage on the family farm for many, many years. And so you can imagine now it's the early 1930s and he's looking for work, but the depression was bad after World War I. So he had a mate and the two of them finally decided they would head off on this journey to find work. And as he used to tell me, he was lucky to find work during those times. But that work was 65 miles away from the family farm. So every single week he biked 65 miles to work and 65 miles home. In fact, his week looked like he would finish working on this farm at lunchtime on a Saturday. He'd make the 65-mile journey back to the family farm, arrive in early hours of Sunday morning, work all day Sunday to help his mum. And he used to tell me how scared he was of losing his job. He'd bike back Sunday night. So that's why we call it 65 miles gin, and we made it for the hard ass because we reckon at 57% you got to be hard ass, and to bike 65 miles to work and 65 miles home at 14 years old, you got to be hard ass. So that's where it comes from. So that tells the story, and you go through these different pages, and there's different images and captions and what those images meant to my grandfather. And we go right through that. You read the whole story. But then we couldn't finish the book without telling the story of the bookmaker. Every single one of these books is handmade by the last remaining bookmaker we have on the Gold Coast. At Granddad Jack's, none of our whiskey packaging is made offshore. 100% is made here in Queensland. Wow. And we spend about 400 hours each time we do a new whiskey package, and we've only done two. We did one real limited edition one. Yeah. And so we tell the story about the bookmaker who's repaired books for the Pope and the Queen, and and he's a fifth generation bookmaker. But last year he became a bookmaker, the only Queensland bookmaker anyway, to ever have made a book for a king and queen anywhere in the world. When last year we were lucky enough, the Australian government purchased a bottle of our whiskey in this book and gifted it to the king and queen of Denmark to celebrate the relationship between Australia and Denmark, because obviously our queen is from Tasmania. Which I thought was quite funny, and I need to give the Tasmanian whiskey guys a bit more shit about this, right? Because the Australian government decided to buy a Queensland whiskey, the first ever Queensland whiskey, to give to the queen that comes from Tassie. How bloody good is that? Eh? And so then hidden inside here is the whiskey, and it's all leather label. It's hard to see on here. But this is the only product these days that Luke makes from beginning to end, 100%. And our team here have been really lucky. We've won double gold medals in the World Whisky Competition for this packaging. But you'll notice all of our whiskey is called Bailiff whiskey. And this is my grandfather standing outside the family farm, 75 years old here. It's hard to see, I know. But all of our whiskey is called Bailiff whiskey because one morning my grandfather was in the farmhouse grabbing a cup of tea, and there was a knock on the door, and the knock on the door was a bailiff. And the story goes that somehow at 14 years old, he took that bailiff into that he'd pay back that debt on the family farm, which he did. So what we say, while we call our whiskey bailiff, is we say, if you don't see the bailiff, keep your fucking promise. If you say something, you do it. If you shake on it, you do it. Yeah. And that's still how our family runs today. It's definitely how run our business. If we say we do, if we can't do it, we're just honest about it, and so that's why we call it bailiff. But still today, and I think you might have made a comment about this somewhere along the line, Crafty, about a company in Australia selling whiskey for $450 that is not that old. Did you make that comment, or did someone else make that comment?
Sounds like something he would say.
Well,
maybe
Do I need to, I'm going to get ready on the mute. We don't have a 20-second dump.
No, we should. This is a good conversation. I love it.
let's just say if you say you make a product, make damn well sure you do make it. And if you're going to command a premium like that, you've got to be completely transparent on everything. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Right. And,
well, I can tell everyone that we 100% make it here.
Yeah.
We don't blend. When we release a whiskey at Granddad Jack's, it's from one barrel and one barrel only. So as you guys know, when you drink that bottle, that's it. We can't ever make the same whiskey again.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. But to us, it's not in our whole business, not just our whiskey. To us, like the liquid is secondary. And I know that's completely crazy for some people in our industry to hear. But for us, the absolute number one thing is telling our story.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. We have to have good liquid, right? Otherwise, no one's going to buy it. But the story is what sells a $450 bottle of whiskey, not just the liquid.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the key.
But the story adds to the authenticity of it, right? And yeah, I hold that in a very high position. Authenticity is absolutely number one. You've got to be authentic in what you do, and not fabricated marketing authenticity. Which I saw something.
Being a rebel.
Yeah, I saw something the other day. It was something that was quite interesting. It was a distillery, and all of a sudden they changed their whole brand to we're sort of the rebels in the industry. And it's like, no, you're not.
There's a difference between corporate marketing and real storytelling, right?
Correct. That's my point.
Yeah.
So people are going to drop $40,000 and come up with a marketing campaign, and we're authentic and we're the rebels. It's like, you can see straight through it, right? And they're credited.
And our whiskey sells in Denmark for 3,800 Danish crowns a bottle.
All right,
that's roughly $700. That's roughly $700 a bottle, I think, roundabout.
So, sorry, 3,000.
3,700 Danish crown.
But what you've created, right, with the book, is you've created a layered experience, right? So the first thing is someone picks up that box, the outer box, and then they look at it and go, "Wow, what's this?" So you got intrigue straight away. You got intrigue, curiosity.
It's
about it's over $800.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then you open the box, and then it's a book, and you go, "It's a book." The bottle of whiskey, it's a book. They'll read it. They'll digest the story. It'll take them on a journey, and that's really cool. And then finally, by the time they get into the liquid in the bottle, they're already in the mindset that they're sold that this is going to be fantastic, because this whole experience is a layered experience that's been wonderful, and that people will pay a premium for that. Absolutely.
And quite often, we had a customer here just last week who bought 2 bottles.
Yeah.
And one hit, right? Because we have many customers now. We have maybe. I don't actually know, to be honest, but it's at least a handful of customers that we have their credit cards on file, and they buy every single new whiskey we release. They just want it sent to them.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's nice.
So we'll never be a mass producing whiskey business, because to us, whiskey is our premium. That's our super premium, and that's the only reason we built a distillery is to honor my grandfather's love for whiskey. So it'll always be like that. We'll never be a big producer, but that's what that's our model. We're not trying to be someone else. We're not trying to make Irish Scottish whiskey. We're making bloody Gold Coast whiskey right by the ocean in the humidity.
Okay.
and it's different.
Brilliant. And it's sent to Royals.
And it's I like. Please, can someone prove me wrong? But I reckon we're the only distillery in the country that has a whiskey or any Australian spirit with a king and queen, wouldn't we? Does anyone know of anyone else?
I have a recollection of Joe Adger having a bottle of their gin gifted to.
It was a Jubilee thing, I think.
Yeah. It was gifted to the Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Was gifted to the Queen. I'm pretty certain that happened.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Rare.
Super rare.
Yeah.
Not a king and queen, though. So that
Not a king.
Good on you, Todd.
You have to spend some money and get an AI video generated with the king and the queen together with the bottle and go, fucking good Australian product.
Yeah. Well, I asked the Australian government, could we meet them if I go there, and I didn't really get much of an answer.
I'm sure you can just call them up and drop in. It shouldn't
Hey,
be too much of an
Mary.
issue.
Yeah.
Ian says that such a great story which could be made into a film, a la the Water of Life series, to tell the story of Aussie whiskey industry and help the Distillers Association.
Well, man, I love your idea. In fact, in our family, when my grandfather was very old school, and in our family, all the males, when you turned 13 years old, you went to Granddad's place for your first whiskey. And trust me, at 13, drinking your first neat whiskey wasn't the best experience I had in my life.
What
we got through it.
Just as a quick aside, what was his go-to whiskey that you had to suffer through as a 13-year-old?
He would drink any whiskey that he could get at the right price.
Right.
But he preferred Irish whiskey.
Okay.
His family way back in the 1900s were Irish descendants. So he preferred that, but he didn't have the money. In fact, he never got to a point he did an amazing job in his life bringing up 3 daughters. But we built the distillery here on the Gold Coast with 100% recycled material. All recycled timber, steel beams, everything's recycled. And we did that because my grandfather was never able to build a new family home. The family home that he built from materials he got in the local community and could get off the farms. So we wanted to build a distillery the same way he would have. So that's why everything at Granddad Jack's is recycled.
Wow.
What a story.
Story all
I
the way through.
just got to comment on Ian's comment about, wouldn't it make a great movie, the Australian whiskey scene. So there is a guy traveling around Australia right now, and some people know, some people don't, a guy called Chris Greta. And Chris has a channel, and he's an advertising exec guru from the US. And he's been creative director for big companies, had his own advertising agency. And then he decided one day, that's it, I'm done. All right, all I want to do is ride my motorbike around America. Happy days, right?
Yeah.
And he visited a few distilleries, and then he decided, I don't like America. I want to get out of America. I want to get out of the States, and I want to explore. So he came up with this concept, and his wife accepted it, which is amazing. I don't know how he pitched it, but he's like, I go overseas and I go and stay in distilleries for a couple of weeks, and they feed me and they give me a bit of money, and I write a story and I help their marketing, and then I go to the next distillery, and then the next distillery. And he came to Australia. And
he just did one in Tassie, didn't he? I seen one he did. Yeah.
Currently he's in Adelaide. So he's just finished with Ian Smitty at Tin Shed Distillery. As of today, I think he's still with Paul Shan from Tria Prima. He spent time with Peter Bignall. He spent time with Bill McHenry. I think he had, in the end, of 3 weeks at Bill's joint. He's coming to Sydney. I'm taking him around to 3 distilleries, and he's going to spend a day in each of them. And then I'm taking him out to Central West, and he's going around about 5 distilleries in the Central West. And then I'm taking him down Whisky on the Murray. And Then he's going back to the States. He's going back to the States and he's talking to Netflix because he's blown away from what he's seen in Australia. He's seen the interconnectedness of our industry and how we sort of all get on and we sort of help each other, right? Which he thinks is very unique. But he's going home. He's seeing his wife. I think he's got like a week, and then he's fucking off to Norway for 4 weeks, the northernmost distillery in the world, and he's going to be under Aurora Borealis for 4 weeks.
Wow.
So anyway, but then he's coming back to Australia, and he wants to bring a proper film crew, and he wants to basically go around Australia and tell Australian stories. So your story, mate, your story is
there for weeks.
Yeah. Well, he did send me an email, Chris, a few months back. Like just
he reached out to a number of distillers and he had a really tight time frame, but he came to a team and he didn't know anyone, right? He only knew Bill and Peter Bignell just through phone calls and email correspondence. So I got in touch with Chris and we started talking. It all started with a Facebook post. I go, I like your story. I love your narrative. It's fantastic.
His superpower, by the way.
His superpower.
Yours. Talking.
Oh, talking, yeah.
And under wet cement.
So true story. And we'll wrap it up after this. So I'm in my caravan, 7 a.m, right? And I'm laying there. I've got to go to the shed. And then I'm looking at the posts, and Chris and I had sort of gone backwards and forwards on socials. And we go, fuck, let's talk. So we talked. I think we talked for 2 hours. All right.
Jeez.
So it
was a we. It wasn't me.
Was he aware that you were not wearing pants in your use factory?
Well, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Anyway, so out of that, I said, if you're in Tassie, do you know such and such? No. Well, I'll help you. I'll introduce you and go and see them and go see them and see them and go see them. And then when he went to South Australia, I started to put together a Sydney trip for him and then the Central West trip. And it's like, mate, you need more time because you've only just cracked the surface of what Australia's about.
Australia's a big country, man. You got to spend time here.
Well, I was trying to get him to go over and see Cam and spend some time in WA, but when he comes back, he's going to spend some quality time. I don't know if he's told his wife yet, but
does she travel with him or not?
No, he does it on his own. Wow. And he gets to ride motorbikes and he gets to just what he says, and I love this phrase, big, fat, lazy time. Right? He says, I need time, and that's why he embeds himself in distilleries. He says, I just need big, fat, lazy time to get into the weeds, to understand what's going on and slow down, and the creative juices flow a lot more. And big, fat, lazy time. It's such a cool phrase.
Yeah.
So, and he's an advertising exec, right? And the way he writes his articles.
It's going to have fun in your shed.
Well, he's going to be driving for about 7 hours.
Oh, poor guy. having done the trip from Melbourne to Sydney with you. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, but then I'm going to rock up at Whisky and Murray and I've got to talk and I'll be going.
No, I don't think that will be. But...
And then he's meant to be driving back to Sydney with me, isn't he?
Yeah, he's coming back with you.
It'll be totally opposite. Totally opposite.
He'll go, thank fuck.
Yeah.
There's some sanity in my life. Long last.
Peace and quiet.
Some peace for a little while.
Yeah. I'll wrap it up, David. We're taking way too much time.
No problem at all. Don't mind it at all.
Now, Ian has asked where we can find his stuff. I'll post some links up on our Facebook. I don't have them all prepared because I wasn't prepared for the conversation to head in that direction. So I'll whack them all up.
He's done all. Still Life Stories.
Still Life Stories.
That's his brand. So type in Still Life Stories. YouTube. He does a lot of video and a lot of
high quality.
Yeah. He's a professional.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He's a professional.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
he puts this production to shame.
Well,
yeah, but you know what? It's just good to have raw, good conversations, I reckon.
Oh, indeed. Yeah. That's why we do it.
That's why we started. We started during COVID And it kicked off because during COVID, the big podcasters were interviewing distillers for content, right? And I remember there was one who interviewed Peter Bignell and Belgrove, right? And they go, "Oh, and your name is?" He goes, "Peter Bignell." And they go, "And where at Belgrove Distillery?" And you make, and it's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" So
yeah.
So I talked to the lads and said, "We could do better ourselves. We could have some real conversations, right?" And so we're almost up to episode 100.
Well, this is 95.
Wow.
95, yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Well done.
We'll hit that.
Who have you got next?
Damn good fucking question, actually.
Yeah, actually, we should be promoting. Who's next?
I don't know.
It's, I think, we'll know in 30 seconds. Because what we've done is we've decided we do one a month. We used to do 2 a month, but we just burned ourselves out. It was so hard. Yeah. And this guy had to herd cats, right? So you'd be like 3 months out, you talk to a distiller and they go, yeah, absolutely want to do it, right? And then a night before, Todd would contact them. They go, "Oh, no, I can't do it."
It wasn't a night before. That's what you do.
All right.
Mine was like a couple of weeks before.
Yeah. It was like he had him on a fishing line. It's like, he's there. All right, I've still got him. I think I've still got him. And then right at the end, I'd be like, "Fuck, where'd he go?"
Something's popped up. I can't do it tonight.
Yeah.
So
I don't know whether we've confirmed. Can you read that far?
Oh, shit. I've got to get moving.
Yeah, so that's on your plate.
Yeah. With a bit of luck, it'll be Red Mill. So Red Mill in Sydney, because Revolution is getting hosted in Red Mill's Distillery in Sydney. So we thought, how cool. So I got to talk to Brad, right? And to get Red Mill on before Revolution.
Yeah, cool.
So
if you guys are ever on the Gold Coast, you need to come visit us at Granddad Jack's. We're
that implies that we get holidays.
Yeah, that's right. We work for ourselves. Remember? Yeah. Work for yourself. They said. Great idea. They said.
Total freedom. They said. Fuck off.
You must be living the dream and the nightmare.
I don't think anyone do any of us sleep in this industry, or do we just stay awake at night thinking about everything that's a challenge?
No one person who doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
That makes everyone around them doesn't as well.
I have some of my
video to prove it.
I have some of my most creative ideas at like 4 a.m.
Ideas.
Yeah. And they just have to be expressed.
Yeah, I have to do it on the spot, right?
Todd, are you awake? I've got something I have to say, but it has to be outside in the cold. And I'll just walk away for effect.
So what he's referring to is when we put the redacted.
Here's what I prepared
earlier. Here's what we prepared earlier. The redacted, right? So you can sort of see
I can see this one, yeah.
So the redacted and Strangelove, very limited release, only 36 bottles of each, right? So Todd and I put it together in the distillery, and it was a real emotional thing. And we were playing The Doors loud. This is the end. And then we were playing JFK peace speeches. And we got really,
as we're doing Love of War. I think that was too that song, was it? We had it all done by the end of the song.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So what happened? So and
very small releases.
So then we finished and we carried on drinking. We'd stop work, carry on drinking, right, and go, "Oh, try this one." Yeah. So we went to bed.
Made the terrible mistake of, we should test this alcohol content, 74%. Oh, no wonder.
So we go to bed about 2:30, and he is sleeping in the shed on a stretcher bed, right? And I go to my caravan at 2:00, and for some unknown reason, I wake up at 4:00, and I go in there, bang on the door. I go, Todd, come inside. There it is. Oh, that's
Great label. Yeah, that's so good.
That's on the Diageo bar.
Awesome.
It's living on the Diageo bar.
Until they
Well,
realise.
the big new boss of Diageo's in Australia next month, so hopefully he sees it.
Yeah.
So do I. That'd be
great.
That'd be so funny. So anyway, the upshot of it was, I said we have to talk and we have to film it. And he goes, why? So
I'm sleeping.
so the video, I call it the epitome of a drunken man. And
You were really fucking drunk.
really drunk. And I was going to delete it. And then I thought, no, this is the epitome of a drunken man who's super passionate about something and just trying to make a point. When you're pissed, you just...
It makes sense, right? It makes complete sense.
Made sense to him. No one else in the room.
Anyway.
So thank you for joining us, Dave. It's been wonderful chatting with you. Let me bring up the website. There it is, where you can get all the bits, all your different releases. This one's a cracker.
Yeah.
That is a lovely,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
a lovely
Get yourself
bottle,
some of that.
a lovely gin. Very, very nice. And I think we've gone through a decent amount of that today.
And we were going to try the river, the soya sauce savoury one.
The Albion gin.
Yeah, you'll see an order come through for that because I'm really
that
good.
sounds really
We're going to
interesting.
barbecue some seafood and crack it.
Perfect. You just drink it and eat the seafood. Bit of seafood, bit of that. Oh, next level.
When's the next
Road
whiskey
trip to
coming out?
Bateman's.
Next whiskey is out. We always release one whiskey for my grandfather's birthday each year, which is the 11th of June. So
Right.
Next
Not
month
far from
we've got a new whiskey.
Right.
Sweet.
Wow. Okay. So I would imagine that'll be announced on your mailing list and socials and whatnot.
That'll be announced on the online. Yep. The amazing people here that look after the online, they'll bloody get that sorted and out there. And
Excellent.
Should be fun.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we will be back in
A month.
Also.
roughly a month,
Yeah.
hopefully, with Red Mill. Otherwise, it'll be someone else.
Awesome. Well, great chatting, fellas. And let's all sign off with let's not do anything that Crafty wouldn't do, and we'll all be bloody good.
God, that
Oh.
doesn't leave many options.
Excellent.
All right. Thank
All right,
you.
fellas. Have a great one. See ya.
Thank
Bye.
you. Finish her off. Cheers.